Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at the Wyze Plug Outdoor. This is a smart plug that you can put outside, and if you've got holiday lights or any sorts of things that you want to control from inside, you can do so with this, provided it's within Wi-Fi range. And we're going to be taking a look at this and deploying it outside for my holiday lights. And before we get into this, though, I want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that I paid for this with my own funds. All the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this review, nor has anyone reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and see what's inside the box and how it works. Now, the price point on this is about $18 at the time I'm recording this video. Wyze makes a lot of low-cost stuff, but it works really well. Now, this one has two outlets on it. I just lost the instruction sheet. And these outlets can be controlled independently. So you can have one or the other or both go on and off, and you have control over the app. And you have some buttons here for controlling them manually. We're going to plug it in just a second to get it going. Now, power-wise, this will support a maximum of 1,800 watts here in the US. I believe that's about 15 amps, I believe, at 120 volts. They say it supports energy monitoring, so we'll see if we can see how much our Christmas lights are using up on the power bill there. And it is IP64 rated. That means that it is splash-proof, but not waterproof. And that's par for the course typically with these outdoor plugs. So you do not want to immerse this in water. You want to leave it at a height where it's not going to be flooded. That would be bad. But if it's getting rained on or something, kind of splashy kind of stuff, it should be okay there. Very short cord on this, but that is to be expected. This does require Wi-Fi to operate, and it needs to be within range of your Wi-Fi access point or router. And so you'll need to test the area first to make sure that it is within range. And it looks like also they give you some mounting hardware here in the box. So what I'm going to do now is plug it in, and then we'll load up the Wyze app, which is required, and we'll see how it works. All right, so we are ready to go. The device here is blinking blue, indicating it wants to get paired up with Wi-Fi. You can, of course, control it manually here already if you want. And what I'm going to do is jump over to the Wyze app, and this is the same app you use for all of their other stuff. And as you can see, I've got a whole section for my Christmas stuff right now that I can control with one tap, and maybe I'll add this to the mix a little bit later. And what I'm going to do here is add a device. I'm going to go to Power and Lighting, and I'm going to select the Wyze Plug Outdoor. Now, it's giving me some instructions about its pairing mode, but because it's blinking by default out of the box, we're going to roll forward here. Now, it's going to ask me what Wi-Fi network I want to connect to, and I've got a Wi-Fi that I've set up specifically for these devices in my home, but you'll select your network from the list on this screen here. And what it's going to do now is look for the plug. And I think this now works over Bluetooth, so you don't have to connect to its Wi-Fi first to get going. So what we should see here is that blinking light here stop blinking very shortly, and then it will be added to our network here, and it looks like it found it. Now, what it's going to do is segment each of these outlets into their own number. So I have outdoor plug 1 and 2. I could rename these if I want. I'm just going to leave them as the default to keep things simple for the review here, and click Save. And now I've earned a badge, and I've got my plug here up and running. And if I go over to here, I can turn off and on each component if I want. So there we go. Looks like we are up and running. So I'm going to now plug some lights into this and see how it works. All right, so we are up and running now, and we've got the device here paired up with my Wi-Fi, and we have both outlets now showing up in the app. And if I hit the button here to turn on the sockets, they will, hopefully, turn on. I have been noticing, though, as you just saw, that the status indicator is not keeping itself up to date until I refresh the app. So now that I've done so, it shows both sockets as on, and then I can switch them both off here. But you can see it's reverting back to being on, and it gets very confused if I tap on it when it's in this confused state. And I'm only seeing this with the outdoor plug, not with my other Wyze plugs that I have here in the house. That one just updated properly. So if I drag it down here, it will update itself, and I can turn these on and off. One disappointment beyond that one, and I think that's a firmware thing they could probably fix, is that if you go into usage here, this is not going to give you granular electric usage like you would see out of a kilowatt device and some other smart home devices. This looks like it's giving you a daily summary of usage or a weekly or a monthly one. So I'm not getting any real-time data out of this, and it's also going to combine the usage out of both of these sockets. So if you were looking at this as a means of measuring how much electric usage is going through your outdoor devices, this is probably not going to cut it for you, unfortunately. Now, I bought this to fix a problem that we had with our outdoor Christmas lights. My wife has been running everything off of this thing for who knows how long, but she liked this one because it had a light sensor on it that can detect dusk and dawn and turn things on and off as appropriate. And as it turns out, and I didn't even realize this when I bought it, this one has a similar sensor on board. So if we jump back to my app here, I can go into this gear icon and use that sensor to determine when to turn this thing on and off. So for example, if I go to brightness here and click on schedule, I can have it turn things off when things get bright and turn things on when things get dark. So I'm going to just set that right now, which I just did. And what will happen now is that when that sensor detects darkness, I bet you it would probably work if I put my finger over it, it'll turn on plug 1, because we just had that one set on this first setting. And then if it detects brightness here, as you just saw, it will turn it off. Now, you can't override this because if I turn the light on here, it's going to turn on very quickly and then turn right off because the sensor will override it. So this will be something that you'll need to set and forget. But if you want to turn that off, you can just go back to brightness here and switch it off. Likewise, you can go by time of day, and you can set a schedule here based on a specific time, but also sunrise and sunset. Now, one other thing to note on here beyond the scheduling that we talked about is that they have a vacation mode, and if you enable this, it will turn the lights on and off randomly to make it look like you're home, so you can't detect a pattern to things going on and off. And if you are going away for an extended period of time, this might be something to work with. Some of their other products will also have this vacation mode, so you can have your lights inside and outside all turning on and off at random times. All right, so we've deployed now the plug outdoors, and what you see here on the right is a Christmas tree with lights plugged into one of the sockets, and in the background there is another Christmas tree with the other socket. And I'm going to pull up an overlay of my phone indoors here where it's nice and warm, and I'm going to turn on socket 1 now, and there you go. You can see that tree in the background lit up, and I'm going to do the same now on the second plug. And you'll see that tree lighting up now. So it looks like all is working. Now you can do some troubleshooting here as well. So if you go into the plug and go back to that gear icon and you go over to device info, you can see what its Wi-Fi signal strength is. So if you're having some issues with it not always connecting reliably, take a look and see what your signal strength is. Mine is good. Yours might vary depending on where your router is located versus where your device is set up. But you get a feel as to how this works. You can use that brightness timer, you can use scheduling, or you can just manually turn things on and off. Additionally, this works with the Google and the Amazon A-Word ecosystem, so you can integrate it into those two smart home programs, and you do have to assign the plug to a specific room or group within those apps separately. But when you get that going, you can just integrate this along with devices from other manufacturers. So for example, you could have a TP-Link light bulb connected to the Wyze outdoor plug and have them all working with a single command. I'm going to do a video about how I integrate Wyze into my workflow because I've been hooking up a lot of these things lately, and I think it might be fun to have a standalone tutorial about how I am doing that. So that is the Wyze outdoor plug. It seems to work as advertised. A couple little glitches right now with the data not updating right away on me here, but I think those will resolve themselves. And I think this switch is going to work a lot more reliably outside versus the one that we're now retiring. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold level supporters Hot Sauce and Video Games, Brian Parker, Chris Allegretta, Tom Albrecht, Thomas Anfang, Jim Tanis, and Handheld Obsession. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to Lon.TV/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/s.